Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews, stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs. Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Why do narcissistic people bait? Is it just sport? No, because remember the singular motivation of a narcissistic person in a relationship. It is to hold power, control, and dominance. They have to have the upper hand. It's the only way these relationships work. So if you're calm, cool, and collected, and you're not engaging with them, and when you don't react, and the narcissistic person continues to be sort of a ragey, blithering, like rah, rah, rah person, even they know it's not a good look. But if you're the one who's spinning and is sort of seemingly out of control, now all of a sudden they look like the well put together one. So if you finally, and we all do, if you finally take the bait, and I'm going to tell you folks, I recently fell for a baiting episode, and I was like wailing and screaming and crying. This person just went at me and went at me and went at me. I was just crying, I uncontrollably, right? And I could sense the satisfaction by the other person, right? Because what happens is that they keep going, you have a reaction, and then you'll see the narcissistic person completely calms down, because their power and control come from like, oh, look who's a little bit unhinged, or like, whoa, gosh, you're really sensitive. Then the gaslighting begins, right? They paint you out to be this unhinged, out of your mind, insane, crazy person who can't manage your emotions. They may even do super sinister stuff, like let that be the point that they have a recorder on. So they bait and bait and bait. They take that part out of the recording, but they will record your reaction. So it is a universal part of these relationships, okay? In fact, and you're gonna love this, narcissistic people with all their baiting and going at you, I like to call narcissists master baiters. You see what I'm saying? Masturbators? Yeah. That one hit me one day and I was saying, they're masturbators. I was like, ooh, they are. So they get off, basically, on breaking you down.
Join the Dr.
Oh, Lord, that is our topic tonight. Masturbators. The dark art of induced conversation. Right? How manipulators
reel you back in. Have you ever been baited? I've been baited. Like, if you have a sense of fairness, it's easy to be baited, right? If you have a sense of accountability where you want somebody else to be accountable, and then don't even throw in the, the insecure attachment style on top of it. You get baited into trying to prove yourself, I think, or prove your side of the story, right? And I think one of the things I told my oldest son, and my youngest son for that, and my daughter for that matter, I always said, stop trying to explain everything, especially to an unwilling ear. Stop trying to prove yourself right in every situation. If you're talking to somebody who is willing to hear your side of the story or willing to understand your perspective, that's one thing. But if you're talking to somebody who's just trying to bait a reaction out of you, man, you're giving up your power, by pursuing, clarity or understanding. Like, again, all of this stuff is on a spectrum, and all of this stuff is bidirectional, right? You can't get understanding with a person who is not understanding, right? You simply can't get it. You can't have it. You can't cultivate it, right? That person has to want to understand your perspective. That person has to want to be understanding, right? Want to be a physical manifestation of understanding. No, typically their desire to be understood is coming from some type of hole, some type of wound, some type of unhealed space. And I've always said, hey man, never try to convince an unwilling ear. Never try to convince an unwilling ear, bro. Don't do it. That's what I told my oldest son, my youngest son, and my daughter. Seek people who really want to seek balance with you, who want to seek understanding. Conflict is a two-way street. It's bi-directional, man. And that's why we had to do this show tonight. Masturbators. I know you guys know some masturbators in your life. Huh? I know some of you are masturbating. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone line. We about to turn up again. Masturbators. We got to give Dr. Ramani her credit for that. Dr. Ramani, that's amazing. No diddy. No lube, no oil. Masturbators, right? The dark art of induced conversation. How manipulators reel you back in. We're going to try to discover the insidious manipulation tactic known as induced conversation, where narcissists expertly bait you into emotional traps, pulling you back into toxic communication. This provocative show tonight will dive deep into the psychology behind their tactics, revealing how seemingly innocent exchanges are designed to manipulate, control, and emotionally ensnare their victims. Now, let's come back a little, though, because it's not just narcissists who do this. This is why, a clinician will make the distinction between somebody who suffers from MPD, narcissistic personality disorder, and the rest of us who have narcissistic tendencies, right? And a lot of us, whether we are clinically diagnosed as a narcissist, a bona fide narcissist, or not, still use some of these narcissistic communication styles. Here we go. What is induced conversation, and how does it work to facilitate the power structure of toxic people within their relationship? What are some ways that we weaponize communication to avoid vulnerability and accountability? 1-800-920-1580. Come on. I know you dealt with it. I know you lived it. You probably executed it a couple of times. Don't sit here and on your high horse and act like it's always happened to you. I know you're doing it to other people too. Come on, we're all victims of victims. We're all villains of villains. Let's get it. 1-800-920-1580. How might baiting tactics bring about intrapersonal relationship conflicts. Ugh. In what ways are we cheating ourselves by reinforcing a power structure that works solely in our favor? Do you get the intrapersonal piece? Let me read it again for you. How might baiting tactics bring about intrapersonal relationship conflicts? I.e., in what ways are we cheating ourselves by reinforcing power structures that work solely in our favor? True or false? Throwing pearls to swine is a key indicator that you've been baited. This reminds me, man. Ross Rosenberg. He said, don't wrestle with the pig. Don't wrestle with the pig. Why? The pig likes the mud. You might not. You might not like to get dirty. The pig loves to get dirty. He always says, don't wrestle with the pig. True or false? Induced conversation is a tactic used by narcissists to maintain control over their partner. And I would say people with narcissistic tendencies. I would say people who come from a dysfunctional family, a family where there was trauma, where there was abuse, psychological, emotional, physical, all of it, right? All of it. Agree or disagree? When a narcissist feels like their partner is setting boundaries or breaking off the relationship, they may try to get the partner to engage in conversation. Induced conversation. Masturbating. Have you been masturbated? Have you been swallowed? Have you been swallowed by induced conversation? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. I want to know, what psychological mechanisms underpin induced conversation as a manipulation tactic in toxic relationship? How does induced conversation serve to reinforce power imbalances in relationship? What role does ego play in one's susceptibility to being baited into toxic dialogue? Listen, this is the realest relationship show in the world. We're going to have the conversations nobody wants to have. Why? Because it's our duty, right? I don't like fluff conversations. I don't like fluff answers. I don't like circular logic. Listen, let's get deep, right? We want to heal the relationships, right? We want to heal how we interact, right? Man, tomorrow's show gonna be even crazier, bro. It's gonna be even crazier. In what ways does induced conversation mirror a narcissistic need for control and validation? How might the induced conversation tactic differ from covert and overt narcissists? Or just people with narcissistic tendencies? Huh? Are there styles to it? Are there levels to masturbating? Andy, don't get mad at me. Andy over here laughing at me. Are there levels to masturbate? We're not talking about what get your mind out the gutter. We're not talking about that. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone line. What parallels can be drawn between induced conversation and the psychological concept of intermittent reinforcement? How does induced conversation exploit our innate need for closure, especially in relationship defined by trauma bonds? These questions ain't playing right now, right? You tell me. They not playing. What are the long-term psychological impact, right, of repeatedly engaging in induced conversations with manipulative individuals? I want to know. I know you've experienced it. I know you've lived it. When we come forward, the voice of reason has more questions, and I have more to peel back in this topic. I want to know what everybody thinks. I want to know if you've ever experienced it. Men, women, married, divorced, cohabitating, whatever your relationship agreement is. Tonight's the night. You've been invited personally by the voice of reason. Call me, 1-800-920-1580. Trust me, you and I together have a lot to talk about.
Reason. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Tara Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
You've got a Pepto predicament, moviegoer.
Hey, I can hear your stomach grumbling.
Sorry, I ate that entire tub of popcorn with extra butter.
You overdid it, and now your movie has turned into a blockbuster bellyache. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can focus on the action on the big screen instead of in your stomach. When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Got me hot. Yeah. Nah, got me hot. Yeah. Yeah. Said, hey, well that's exactly what it came for. You throwing shots from afar, I'ma meet you at your front door. So hard to be doing what you really meant for, beauty. But don't I make it look easy? Don't I make it look good? Hey, now you drank up all my liquor. Come on, what I'm supposed to do now? And you talking all that shit. Now come on, you gon' have to back it up. If I get too high now, sugar, come on, I might never come down. I might never come down. Let me get down. Come on, you might never come down. Let me get down. Hey, you might never come down. Wanna get down.
Does your partner or someone that you know contact you for no good reason? It could be that it's induced conversation. So healthy conversation is when a person wants to either A, convey a message, or B, find out information. Induced conversation is neither of those two things. It is a communication with an ulterior motive. Okay, so induced conversation is a very common strategy of the narcissist, where they will regularly contact a person for no good reason, disguising it as some form of needed conversation or communication, and they're doing this for the sake of controlling their target. The borderline person will also use induced conversation when they're feeling high levels of abandonment, anxiety, or they feel anxious because their significant person is away somewhere and they have object inconstancy. So they'll tend to come up with a reason to contact you in order to resolve that anxiety. And the sociopath will use induced conversation when they want to gain something from you. They will create a reason to contact you, okay? So induced conversation is an abusive behavior because it is using a false conversation in order to keep you engaged in some form of communication. An example of induced...
Man, sometimes a narcissist just wants to know that they can reach you. That's part of their supply. I got through. They answered. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're talking to me. They don't really want to do anything. Like if you go back to your old ways of saying, hey, are you going to be accountable for what you did? Are you going to be accountable for what you said? Are you going to be accountable for how you behaved? Have you worked on yourself? What have you been doing to improve your spirit? Are you working on your wounds? Are you in therapy? Like you start having those kind of conversations, then, you tugging at my mask again. Right? Just understand, sometimes the toxic person just wants to be tethered to you. They may not want to push nothing forward. They might not have no agenda other than I can get them when I want them. That's why oftentimes when they can't get you, they're chasing you down. They calling friends. They done called your parents. They done found a way to make themselves present to the people around you to get your attention so they can get to you. But then once they get to you, they'll act like you're a napkin. Yes, I said a napkin that came with a burger. Once they get to you, you might find once these types of people get to you, they may ghost you right after they connected. Because they really don't want the connection. They want the access. They want the ability to get to you. And how do they do that? Well, in the chase phase, they're chasing by breadcrumbing your vulnerabilities. Listen to what I said. Not just breadcrumbing, but breadcrumbing your vulnerabilities. Oh, I know this person loves it when I compliment them, or when I show them kindness, or when I show them some type of, pseudo faux empathy. All I got to do is act like I've made a change. All I got to do is act like you understand what I'm saying? All I got to do is act like I've turned over a new leaf. Do you understand? So they connect with your vulnerabilities. If you have children with them, they're damn sure going to use those children. Now, you know these kids need to see us working together. We ain't got to be together, but at least when we're around them, we got to look like a unified front. They will use them children, I'm telling you. And then the big, especially the big breadcrumbing piece is wrapped around compliments. You look beautiful today. Then there's some integrity breadcrumbing. I'm going to apologize in general, but I'm not going to apologize specifically for what I did. But I'm going to give you a general apology that it will serve as a universal blanket license for all of my transgressions. So I'm not going to speak to anything specifically. I'm just going to say, I'm sorry that I disappointed you. I'm sorry that I made you feel a certain kind of way. If I ever disrupted your peace, I'm sorry. No real accountability. Like, I'm sorry. You ready? Say it. Say it. I'm talking to somebody out there. Say it. I'm sorry for putting my hands on you. I'm sorry for getting physical with you. Huh? Sorry for raising my voice in your house. I'm sorry for cursing at you. I'm sorry for disrespecting you. I'm sorry for demeaning you. I'm sorry for belittling you. Right? I'm sorry for devaluing you. I'm sorry for trying to make you feel like you didn't matter. Your feelings didn't matter. I'm sorry for minimizing your voice. Huh? These are real apologies, right? Right? What are some of the ways to respond to a toxic person or a narcissistic person? You just got to gray rock them. Stay calm and composed. Keep your responses brief. Set boundaries and stick to them. Boundaries can't be made of fear, right, and ego. They have to be made from an internal space of healing and wholeness so you can hold those boundaries. Yeah. This is about to be really good. When we come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. Trust me, we got a lot to talk about.
Come on, I'ma never come down. I'ma never come down. Never come down. No, let me get down. Hey, you never come down. Wanna get down. Hey, you never come down. Let me get down.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Jumaane Williams, who's next in line for mayor if New York City Mayor Eric Adams resigns, reportedly received contributions from a donor in the Adams corruption case. According to a report, Williams, who's the city's public advocate, received campaign contributions from a contractor who's accused by federal authorities of arranging illegal straw donations from Adams. Meantime, if Williams, who is black, is deemed unable to serve as mayor, the next in line is City Controller Brad Lander, who announced he's running for mayor. Maryland is launching a new initiative aimed at tackling Baltimore's vacant housing crisis. Black Governor Wes Moore signed an executive order creating the Reinvest Baltimore program. It's a coordinated effort between the state, Baltimore City, and nonprofit and for-profit partners to eliminate concentrations of vacant properties. Under the governor's order, 5,000 vacant properties will be redeveloped over the next 5 years. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
John Legend here. How do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Ask your healthcare provider and book at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hey LA, be an eco-friendly hero. Join LADWP's Power Savers program and use your smart thermostat to help ease strain on the electric grid during peak electric demand. You'll save electricity while you lower your bill. Plus, as a power saver, you can get up to $185 in prepaid gift cards. Don't have a smart thermostat? No problem. Shop and sign up at ladwp.com/Power Savers program. That's ladwp.com/Power Savers program. To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Chevy, all the things 2024 truck season radio 30, code GWMR 0294000.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to, or you can even just, with impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm Jeff Davis. I believe my daughter should inherit something, but not the role and responsibility of burying me. That's why I have a pre-need burial insurance plan through Harrison Ross Mortuary. Their plan offers me 4 payment options. 1, pay in advance or pay over 3, 5, or 10-year time periods to keep the payments affordable. Contact the professionals today at Harrison Ross Mortuary. We can be reached at area code 310-704-4901. That's 310-704-4901. And ask for me, Jeff Davis. Thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm here to talk about conversational narcissism. You may wonder, what is conversational narcissism? In its simplest form, it's somebody who consistently brings the conversation back to them, things they know about, things they care about. And so honestly, they're sort of hijacking the conversation. A person who is prone to conversational narcissism will maintain the conversation to be on things that they know about. So if the conversation starts steering into a direction that where maybe it's someone else's expertise or not their interest, you'll either see the conversational narcissist tune out or attempt to bring the conversation back. In fact, one interesting sign of the conversational narcissist, it's sort of fun to watch, is that when the conversation's about them, whatever it is, and they're in it and they're guiding it and leading it, but then something turns it. And I don't know, I remember watching this happen once with a conversational narcissist where the direction of the conversation went to children. And I don't think this person had children. And it was so fascinating because it was almost like watching this person fall asleep in front of your eyes, like this curtain went down in front of their face, and they were so disengaged instead of sort of hearing what these people had to say. So, but it was it was about the things he cared about, he was in it. And then over time would actually try to bring the conversation.
I hate it. I hate it when people do that. It's all about them. Don't you hate it when people try to engage in a conversation with you, but when you turn the table a little bit and start asking them questions, they want you to answer questions, but when you ask them questions, they deflect. No, I want you to say what I want to hear. That's their focus. I want you to say what I want you to hear, and they're dogged on it. And when you ask them questions, they don't want to answer nothing. But you must answer their questions. If you're just tuning in, masturbators is tonight's topic. A fascinating look into the manipulation tactic called induced conversation. Induced conversation, a manipulation tactic frequently employed by narcissists and other toxic personalities, is a subtle yet potent tool used to exert control and emotional influence over their targets. Often disguised as an innocent dialogue, these conversations are strategically crafted to lure individuals into emotional engagement, ultimately reinforcing the toxic dynamics of the relationship. The manipulator, or, for tonight's purposes, the masturbator, thrives on creating psychological traps designed to elicit emotional responses, pulling their partner back into communication through what is referred to as hoovering. You guys have heard that. We've done a topic on this before. On tonight's topic, we will explore the complexities of induced conversation, its underlying psychological mechanisms, and how it undermines personal autonomy. We will also draw upon the wisdoms, of course, our spiritual guides that, I may mention, of course, Krishnamurti and many, many others. You already know how we get down. Dr. David Hawkins, Ross Rosenberg, Babette Rothschild, whoever comes to mind, we're going to talk through their work. But I want to know, have you ever been induced into a conversation? One that you didn't want to have? We got callers on the line. Let's get our brother Hustle from Miami, Florida on the line. Hustle, it's your time to shine. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Sure, brother.
Yes, sir. What up, good brother?
Hey, man. So, I got a lot to say on this topic, unfortunately.
Well, I'll sit back and allow you to cook. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so we usually talk about narcissism when we discuss these things, but what about psychopathy? Right.
Or sociopathy.
It's another, another part of the dark triad. So the thing that's tricky about that is with narcissism, they're feeding a personal need, getting that source or that supply. But when it's psychopathy, you're talking about a whole different ego. You're talking about a separation of personalities. So when we're talking about inducing conversation, they tend to take on a reflection method in which a narcissist may be grandiose, try to butter you up, tell you all the nice things you want to hear, where reflecting is just making themselves seem like they're perfectly in line with you. And since they're separated from self in a way, it's like they actually believe that alter ego.
Wait, so really, because most narcissists they haven't grown up from the childhood injury which created them as narcissists. You know how the vampires say, "I was made vampire in 1903." Right? A child is made narcissist because of their early childhood experiences. And when they're made narcissists, right, they don't continue to develop. So listening to what you just said, are you saying they're going to compete with your natural development if you're not a narcissist? Like if you naturally grew, learned, failed, learned from the failures, grew, that narcissist is going to be envious of you and going to project as if they are on your level. Am I right or wrong?
I don't even know if it's an envy thing because it's a personal drive. The ambition is all self-based. And the reason I don't want to talk about narcissism is because that's the one that's popular right now. But remember, this is all cluster B. And if you're not familiar with the different traits, they may look different. You may think, oh, I'm not dealing with something that's serious, but you might be dealing with a psychopath, not movie psychopath. Because remember, we're talking real terms.
Right.
You get me? They could be right next to you. That's what I'm saying. They blend right into
acting normal, presenting as normal, presenting as gregarious and charming and intelligent. Come on.
It's not a mask, and that's the thing. It's not even just a mask. You're talking about a whole different ego. Do you get what I'm saying? So imagine you trying to figure out one thing. You got to figure out two different people.
Wow. And you ain't even done a good job of figuring it out yourself. And then you got to, come on, keep going. Come on, hustle.
See, and what makes this so tricky is once it isn't even about the same kind of drive of wanting to get off of your supply. It's more so a thing of I'm trying to hide in plain sight. You get me?
So it's a type of psychological camouflage. Hiding it.
That's exactly.
Come on, keep going.
That's exactly what it is. With the narcs, you got to worry because it's like sometimes they like the attention. The psychopath doesn't want the attention because that will quickly bring you to their mask. So, I mean, listen, all I'll tell people is move very slowly, right? When you see it, it don't matter what the person actually is. Like we be trying to figure out, well, what exactly is wrong with it? No. Once you see that there is something wrong, that's all you really need to know. Don't try to dissect why or how or who and no.
Don't. Hey, you know how we do in the movies. Don't go down there. We be yelling at the screen. Don't go. Hey, you see that man standing up? Don't go down there.
Exactly. You try to look back, you trip and fall. Now, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Don't do it.
That's it, brother.
Man, I love it.
Trying to save us all. You feel me?
Right. So. I love it, man. Black people in movies, boy, we tend to write the script as we watching the movie, man. But I appreciate what you just did, man. And you know what it is that you just did, correct?
No doubt, man. Dade County.
Dade County, you know what it is. Miami, Florida in the building. We hope all of our people down in Miami are doing okay. All of the people in Florida, Pensacola, you already know, Tampa, everywhere. Orlando, that's where my mama from. I hope everybody down in Florida doing good. When we come forward, we going to College Station, Texas. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. SMP volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an SMP open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit ca-smp-volunteer.org. Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I've been feeling kinda cooped up. I'm trying to get some fresh air. Hey, why you got the roof out? You know it never rains here. Hey, you ain't got a flash when you're taking your picture. You ain't got to draw no extra attention. Paparazzi wanna shoot ya. Time for less out here. I've been in my bag anyway, trying to throw a bag in the safe. You can turn in the base. Baby, my little ones, some baby names. Time for less out here. Do what I gotta do, bruh. Get up in my rearview mirror. I can't be riding around that open strip. I need tents, windows, I need tents, windows tint. I can't be flying down that one tent. With the bag in my whip, I need tents, windows tint. I need tents, windows tint. And it's no good.
Hello, I'm Darren again. Today's topic comes from a few questions asking what is meant by the term induced conversation in the context of narcissism. So I would like to begin by saying an induced conversation usually refers to a discussion that has been prompted by a particular action or question or intervention. And conversations can be induced in different situations in different ways. For instance, there could be research questions, surveys, could be an educational setting. Pretty much anywhere where the goal is to encourage people to talk, maybe share, explore ideas, or maybe seek feedback in a meaningful way. But in the context of narcissism, it usually refers to a tactic that is used by narcissistic people to steer conversations a particular way, usually in a way that serves their needs, desires, or their ego. There can be
Let's stop the video right there. This is how you see it. Love is bidirectional. Love is everywhere. If you love you, if you deeply accept yourself, if you deeply approve of yourself, you're going to find love everywhere you look. And the first place you're going to look is yourself, and you're going to see it's there. and you're going to see it can't be diminished. You're going to see there's an infinite supply of it. There's no scarcity. There's no fear, right? There's no pain. You're going to see that. That's a high level of consciousness, right? But not only are you going to see it within yourself, you're going to see it in everywhere else, right? So guess what? Your conversations will not be about what you can get. I need you to listen. Your conversations will not be about validation. See, if you're having a conversation about being validated, that means you're looking to someone to validate you. If you're having a conversation about approval, if you're having a conversation about accountability, whatever, you're trying to get something. And when you reach a higher level of understanding, a higher level of healing, a higher level of self-love, a higher level of self-knowledge, and thus self-awareness, which leads to self-acceptance, you know what's going to happen? You're going to stop having transactional discussions. I'm setting this conversation up so that you can give me what I'm looking for. Have you ever had somebody ask you a question, but they're looking for a specific kind of answer? They already got the answer they want to hear. The whole conversation is bait and switch. You get what I'm saying? The whole conversation is a setup. And then somebody like me, I go, I thought you wanted to talk. Talking, conversing, communing, communication is bidirectional. I speak in a safe space to be heard. My perspective is welcomed. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be agreed with. That's not a prerequisite for listening. I'm not looking to be right. I'm looking for a safe space to be able to share my perspective. And guess what? If I'm an intelligent person, do you know your perspective could actually cause me to recontextualize mine if you provide information, that's factual, that's replicable. I can go check it. Where's the receipt? I can go see it and go, never looked at it that way. Logically sound. I could, wow, I didn't know. Thank you for that. You know how people who are willing to listen, they tend to learn from people who are talking? Oh, what is that called? Respect. Got a lot of people that don't respect anything but what they can get. And one of the major ways to get what they want is to control the conversation. At its core, induced conversation exploits a person's desire for closure, validation, and understanding. Do you see? I know you hurt. And I know this validation and this little closure crumb, it's going to cause you to open up and think everything is cool and think everything is okay. And really, you're unknowing that, guess what? I'm really just doing this to set you up for more pain, for more disappointment. I know people ain't ready to hear it that way. The narcissist uses hoovering as a way to, reignite old emotional wounds. Oftentimes, often at times when their victim has begun the process of detachment or emotional recovery. Hoovering can manifest as sudden, seemingly affectionate gestures or as needing provocations, Like, let me show you I need you, and that'll provoke you into giving me what I want, Listen, man. Y'all don't know this relationship game. This is a real situation. Let me get my people in here because we got callers on the line. They want to talk about it. Be your own closure. I hear you. Attila. Get to your phone lines. The number to dial 1-800-920-1580. Chakra Q, College Station, Texas. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? College Q. Chakra.
Peace. Sorry about that. I was on mute.
Okay, let's go, brother. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Excellent topic. It makes me think about just how people weaponize everything from intelligence, sexual energy, intelligence, And for a lot of people who may be on their journey or just are stubborn and just want to take in information for the sake of weaponizing it, it further solidifies these masturbators, right? And so it puts them in a position of pseudo power, because for me, every person that I've run into that has, comes at me with these induced conversations, I really don't do a whole bunch of talking. I'm just an active listener. And I see more as they talk, they want to perform. They want to continue to talk and listen to me. And a lot of times they've been observing me way before they actually initiated a conversation with me. And then they will throw certain things out there to see what I'm going to bite on. And maybe we start with a little candor or just a surface conversation. And next thing you know, oh, well, I know how they want to relate to certain things or what they believe that I would relate to. But I realize that the less I talk and the less that I feed into it, it almost presents a challenge. And it reminds me of the seduction joint, not the 48 Laws of Power,
Robert
but the
Greene.
seduction.
Yeah, Robert Greene.
Yeah, Robert Greene.
Yeah.
And how he kind of, he breaks it down in his own way. But ideally, it's like the more you push back, and of course, there's different archetypes, but the less you give, it becomes more of a win, a bigger win. Like, oh, man, I really got to crack this.
Wait. Stay right there. Don't leave, because you cooking. Listen, the more you stay away, the bigger the fish you become. They go get another rod, right? Let me get a bigger rod. I got to reel this one in. Stay with me, Chakra. When we come forward, we got more to talk about. Let's go.
We're showing out for the cameras. Right. I'm doing fish bowling. 100,000 on the passenger. I'm Kendrick Lamar. Respect me from afar. I was made in this image. You call me a god. Everybody in attendance. I'm about to perform. Everybody get offended by the I got on. Like, can you buy that? 900 horse. Can you drive that? A G5. Can you fly that? I need 10 so I can look at the snakes and poses. I need 10 cause bomb is non-disclosure. I need 10 so I can live with a peace of mind without taking the peace of mind and peace be still and not do fine. So fix it, ticket. You pull